Hi everyone, and welcome to Gamerside. It's Drift speaking for yet another review. This time I'm going to tell you about Horizon Call of the Mountain. I've been playing with PlayStation VR2 for about a week. It's been rather short to try some of the games that will be available at launch, which is why I have not completed Horizon yet. Still wanted to share my thoughts on the game as a newcomer to VR, because I'd like you to be aware that I have played some VR before, but barely, so I'm not an expert, and you should keep that in mind when watching this.
If I remember my maps right,
So I'm going to tell you about the gameplay. I'm not going to talk about the story. One, because I haven't completed the main quest, as I said, and two, because I don't want to spoil anything. So what you'll see is only actually taking place in the beginning of the adventure. As you can see, you can choose to add several options, accessibility options for movement to help you maybe, take VR more easily if you're a newcomer like me. So which means you can actually, when you move, the field of view is narrowed down, so there's this black circle around you. Actually helps. Also deactivated it after just a little while, and I was okay with it. Still had some weird sensations sometimes, although I kept movement to the slow pace. You can basically choose to walk slowly, or there's a medium pace, and then there's a fast pace if you're okay with it, if you can handle it. There's a lot of climbing also in the game, but you can see that movement is smooth. You cannot teleport yourself, and it wouldn't work in the climbing sequences anyway. So which means everything here, I'm just using the two pads and using the triggers to grab onto the ledges and to climb. It's actually pretty natural. I was surprised. I didn't feel that bad just looking down. I was afraid I might actually suffer from vertigo, but apparently I'm okay. But it's still quite impressive to see, especially when you're on top of a mountain and you look down and you realize, okay, this is actually pretty high up in the sky. And yeah, it's a very immersive way to play, and for someone who's new to VR like me, it's obviously more impressive than for people who've played Half-Life Alyx, for example, to name just one example of a great VR game that I'd love to be able to play. And well, please, Sony and Valve, do something to bring Alyx to PSVR 2, as I think it would be incredible for me to play it if I can handle it. So like I said, the climbing is pretty natural. You can use the right thumbstick and I chose to. It's not smooth movement for the right thumbstick for me, as it's not that I didn't feel good when doing it. It was maybe you can choose the how fast it can be when you turn around, like slow, medium, and fast. But I don't know, for some reason I didn't think it was very smooth to do that, so I used the what I don't know how you call it, but when you move the stick, you can see on the video that it's step by step, if you will, and for me that works better. So that's what you're going to see today. There are interactions with the world, things you don't need to do, but you can, because it's a VR game. So it's always nice to be able to grab things, to light a torch, and to shoot some arrows, as there are actually beacons to hit. It's optional, but it's always nice to see that you can hit. You can break things too. Again, very, very amusing to be able to do that. Not new, by any means, but that's something that people have come to expect. So in between, like gameplay sequences, these are the things you can do, like find collectibles, find items that you can use to craft new arrows. So the typical arrows from the series, and you'll find everything, obviously. And it's actually it works well. It's a mix of, it's a lot of climbing, to say the truth. It's a lot of climbing, and maybe for some people it would be too much climbing. Not that doesn't feel right to do the climbing, but maybe for some people it won't be as exciting as it was for me. So again, keep that in mind before you purchase the game, especially if you're a seasoned VR player. That I am not. Dafton is actually a lot more into VR than I am. But I really wanted to try. And I felt it was also a good idea to be able to tell you if someone new to VR could handle the emotions and the sensations. And well, so far I've been able to, so I'm pretty proud of myself, if you can believe it. And so yeah, other than climbing, sometimes you look for elements, things. Apples are useful because that's how you get your health back. And I like the fact that you have to, approach it from your mouth, and then it's like you're eating it. Sometimes you need to find keys, and then you use your the menu to select the key, and then open the lock, for example. Activate different sorts of things. There are also puzzles, like there's an elevator to fix at some point. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, but it's pretty simple. And there's also combat that we're going to see in just a bit. Although I just wanted to show you the first combat where it's actually a tutorial, and it's not the most exciting combat because it's just one enemy. And in combat you're limited to a circle around the arena where you are, so around the enemy or the enemies, and so you can use the right thumbstick also to dodge pretty fast actually, but oddly enough it actually didn't feel odd to do that. I never felt sick because I was dodging a lot, and believe me, when there's 2-3 enemies, sometimes flying enemies, and you need to stay focused on every single one of them because they're going to shoot at you and you're going to have to dodge if you don't want to die. It's actually pretty exciting. So first impression of combat was not that great because it was just that one enemy, but then it started to grow on me, and I felt it was nice. But yeah, I have to say that, and that's probably why I'm showing this, because in the beginning there's also a lot of climbing, and I know it's not the most impressive climbing, as it's not that high up in the mountains yet. But again, I don't think revealing too much would be a good thing, because even though what you see here is nothing like what you will be seeing with the VR headset on your head, it's still showing things that maybe you'd like not to see and you'd like to experience for yourself. But yeah, I also wanted to show you that so in between a sequence where you climb or where you actually fight, or you try to shoot arrows again, you can find, like I said, items that you can use to craft new arrows. And I wanted to show you how it works because I think it's pretty well done. Again, it might not be very new, but so this is how you collect things in your inventory, and then you select the type of arrows, so like regular one, fire, electric, and shock, I think it is. And then when you craft arrows, you actually have to craft them yourself, and it looks pretty neat if you ask me. So I don't know what you think. So this is what is a bit hard for me. This actually, which is why I kept the black thingies around, like the field of view narrowing down, because when it moves very fast, never felt sick, but my brain felt something was not right. And but I was able to play for like 2 hours straight without feeling sick or anything. And I don't know if I don't think I think I'm someone that is sensitive, so I think I could get sick in some games. So if that's any consolation to those who are wondering, try the game before maybe, but I think it's something you can handle. Even if you're afraid to get sick because of that movement, it's I think they've done a good job. Even though, maybe for some people teleporting would have been actually a better option, at least for like when you're on foot. I think that's I think it's a collectible, And actually, the on the left glove, the green feathers you have, it's actually your health bar. It's pretty clever, I think. Also, something I forgot to tell you maybe is what I'm going to use here to get rid of the planks here. So open my menu and I use this. And this you can use also to climb. You have two, obviously. What's odd is you get rid of them when you're done. So it's like infinite objects, items like this. And you also have a grappling hook that you saw before, but I don't think I need to mention it now because I failed to do it when it was the moment to. So that wraps it up about the gameplay, at least what I wanted to share. So let's talk about the visuals now.
Hey, eyes up. I think there's some machines up ahead.
So clearly,
Didn't think you'd want to miss out.
I think it's safe to say, even though I've said it before, but I don't know much about
There.
VR, but this is clearly the best looking VR games out there. I think Kayak VR Mirage is pretty good too, but this is AAA, graphics, and it looks amazing. And I was just a little, let's say, I wouldn't say disappointed, but keep in mind that because I don't remember what PlayStation VR 1 looked like when playing. I think the image quality is very good, but it's not as crisp as what you get on an OLED display, for example, on a big LG 4K screen. And yeah, sure, you can tell. Now that said, how can you not find the game mind-blowing visually? There are so many details. The machines, I know the machines by heart. I've played Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, but still I realized that I had never seen them from up close, and I realized there were details about them that I was not even aware of, and actually that was pretty amazing to me. Now, obviously, I wanted to, if you know anything about me, you know that I like, to show the environments in, in nice videos. It's pretty hard to do an environment video with a VR headset. So it's, couldn't do it very well. So I showed some vistas and that was it. But then I wanted to show also that when you have the characters that we know, and Aloy is obviously is here, as you probably know, because it was not a secret. But as you see them and you realize that you look at the one who's speaking, so you're basically staging the dialogue yourself, and it feels natural, and it's again, maybe because I'm a newcomer to VR, but I was impressed by that. Just taking my time to look at the view, to look at the details, and to feel that I was actually exploring this world that I thought I knew, but that I could discover from a new angle, and it was something. And I actually showed the headset and the game to a friend of mine who came over to the house, and he owns PlayStation VR 1, and actually his mind was blown, and he wasn't sure he wanted to buy it, but yeah, he decided he would because it was worth it. Just the visual jump was big enough for him to want to play this as soon as possible. And again, look at the creatures, and also like the the earplugs they give you and the sound, the 3D sounds. It's all very well done. The haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, it all works. Sometimes I would, it feels that it could be more, I guess. In some of the items you play with on your way to the next climbing session, for example, you grab a musical instrument like drums or something, and then it feels you could have more feedback, even sound wise, for example. But other than that, and the few maybe I wouldn't know if it's their frame rate issues really. But sometimes, I would sense that it was not as smooth as, the second before and the second after. But never to the point that it actually disturbed me or that it made me feel, strange or anything or sick. So, yeah, when you see this in action and you're actually you have this impression that you are with this girl, you are in the canoe, and you are seeing these creatures around you. It's pretty phenomenal. And so if you like the franchise, I mean, at least rest assured that you're going to have lots of things to enjoy visually, and that it's might not be a revolution in terms of gameplay, but it's a big show, and it shows. And look at this, and I will join you for my final impressions in just a few seconds now.
Mountains for too long.
So I'm not calling it a verdict because I haven't completed the game yet, as a week was a bit short for me to play with the VR headset, also try the other games I was sent, and thank God I was not sent everything that is actually coming out on February the 22nd. But yeah, I enjoyed my time on the game. I want to keep playing because I know I can, and I mean I can because I can handle it, and I'm having a great time. Now I also am very aware that if you are a seasoned VR player, maybe this is going to be too easy, maybe this is not going to be challenging enough, maybe this is not going to push boundaries as maybe Half-Life Alyx did. But that, I don't think that's what Sony was aiming for with this. I didn't want to leave before I showed how actually talented I was, and how, the inspiration the game gave me, this, short moment when I could be an artist and show you this, because I think that's precisely the thing that I wanted to show you to finish, is that Gamerside is the best, and thank you for supporting us. Thank you for still being around, even though we don't always have anything to offer other than just nice gameplay videos and sometimes interesting comments. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment or ask questions if you have any. I'll try to answer as well as I can. And until next time, take care of yourselves.